What's up, and welcome to episode 13 of the I Am No Jedi podcast. I'm your host, Geoff, and I'm here with my daughter as always.
Hey.
Ava, say hi.
Hi.
All right, so we haven't done a show in a while, so we got some cool things to do tonight. First and foremost, if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel, please, and share with all your friends so we can hopefully grow our channel a little bit.
I'll do that.
We're slowly growing. We're up to, I think, 70 followers now. Not bad. So on tonight's show, we're going to be doing a couple things. First, we're going to change it up a little bit and not do a draft to start off. We're going to do our top 5 Star Wars battles, essentially lightsaber battles, but we're also including battles that aren't lightsabers if you wanted to do that, like Mandalorian and stuff like that. So we're doing our top 5 each. We each give our top 5. Then we're going to do a Mandalorian and Grogu trailer react. I know it's been out for a little while, but we're going to go ahead and just take a look at it and talk about it. We haven't talked about it on show yet, so we'll do that. And then because one of Ava's favorite characters, Zeb from Rebels, is actually in the Mandalorian movie, he will be our spotlight of the night. We'll end that on the show tonight as our last segment. So let's go ahead and get into the show. Let me hit the intro music and we'll get started. All right, so we are going to kick it off first and foremost with our top 5 Star Wars battles. So Ava, you get to go first here.
Let's start with 5, right?
You know what? Let me bring up the board here. I forgot to pull that up pre-show, so excuse me while I pull that up. Go ahead and do your honorable mention while I'm doing this.
Oh, okay. So my honorable mention is the Vader and Obi-Wan one in the movies. I was going to put it on my list, but I had ones that were cooler, so I replaced it. And I feel like it was a really cool battle for being live action, but I feel like if they animated it, they could have made it like even cooler, because there's only so many stunts you can do as a real person.
Now, which one are you talking about?
The one with the lava at Mustafar.
Oh, okay.
Because I feel like that's pretty awesome, because they're literally fighting on lava, but I feel like if it was animated, they could do more.
They could do a lot more. Yeah, I believe like a lot of the animated ones are.
And to me, it felt short, but maybe that's just me. It felt very short. Because Anakin, I mean, he's kind of annoying and bad at fighting, especially in the movies. But I feel like he should have been a little less easily destroyed.
I don't know. I thought it was a pretty long battle, actually. You thought it was
too short? Well, for the
short?
movies, maybe. But I don't know. Compared to, like, the Siege of Mandalore and stuff, like, it was kind of...
Yeah, that's fair. That's
kind of short.
All right, so that's your honorable mention. I got the screen pulled up now, so let me share the screen. And...
Coolio.
There we go. All right. We got plenty of chatter in the chat, so love to see it. Thanks for joining, everybody. All right, so my honorable mention goes to an animated battle, and it's a 2 versus 2 battle. It's actually Darth Maul, Savage Opress versus Obi-Wan Kenobi and Ventress.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one I think is kind of cool because, you know, Ventress up until that point has been kind of a bad guy. This is the first time where she shows any kind of maybe she can be good, which we know she eventually kind of goes towards the light. And she basically helps out Obi-Wan Kenobi, who was getting overpowered by Maul and Savage Opress to that point. So she ends up helping him. They escape from those two. So that's my honorable mention. I think it was a pretty cool little...
Obi-Wan and Ventress working together just seems very ironic to me. I don't know why. It's just like that's the last 2 characters I would...
Yeah, that is definitely the last 2 characters you'd put together. But then if you watch... Remember from Tales, he's the one that actually brings Ventress to the planets that he puts her in the water, doesn't he?
Well, it was him and...
what's
his name?
I can't think of his name now.
Quinlan Vos.
Quinlan Vos, basically, her boyfriend, essentially.
Yeah.
But yeah, they bring her to the planet. So yeah, that's my honorable mention. Darth Maul, Savage Opress versus Obi-Wan and Ventress. All right, Ava, so give me your number 5 pick. We're going to count backwards here.
My number 5 is the Battle of Geonosis in Clone Wars. I feel like it wasn't like the most amazing battle, but I feel like it had some very cool features, like because the Geonosians are very like interesting like species, with like their queen being able to like make those weird bugs that bring the dead back from like the dead. that was a weird way of wording that, but you got the point. It got the point across. And like all the different tunnels and stuff. I felt like that was pretty cool, and for being like so early on in Clone Wars, I felt like that was a good.
I like that.
Place.
I like that. I see. It's funny because I didn't even think about full on battles. All the ones I have are pretty much 1v1 or
you have
2v1
like duels and stuff.
Mostly
I have
duels.
like a bunch of.
Hey,
other
that's
stuff.
fine. That's fine. We did Star Wars battles. We really didn't specify, so anything goes. All right. So my number 5 is mine's kind of nostalgic because I am old enough to remember watching The Phantom Menace in theaters for the first time when it first came out. And you have to remember that there was 20 years essentially in between the Return of the Jedi and The Phantom Menace. So for 20 years, you didn't get any Star Wars content really, unless you read the comic books, which I did not, or the books, which I did not. So the first live action movie that came out was The Phantom Menace. And of course, the big fight in that one is Maul versus Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon Jinn, which Qui-Gon Jinn gets killed. And then Obi-Wan slices Darth Maul in half. So that was really the first time you saw a lightsaber fight in 20 years. So that kind of was
Speaking
nostalgic.
Of that scene, me and him play the Lego Star Wars on the Switch, and we just played that scene.
We did just play that
and
scene.
It was hilarious because then like Maul gets chopped in half, and then chopped in half again, and then its head like goes through a basketball hoop by Obi-Wan. It was interesting. The Lego Star Wars never disappoints with comedy.
Yes, for sure. All right, let's go to number 4, Ava. What is your number 4 battle?
My number 4 is it's not necessarily a battle. It's more of a training battle. I have 2 of those, including this one. It's Kanan and Sabine training in season 3 of Rebels, where Kanan teaches Sabine to use the Darksaber.
A-N or E-N?
Like that. And I felt like that was really cool because we got to really learn more about Sabine's like point of view and like her family. And we got to see Kanan like training what he considered the untrainable because she doesn't really have the Force. We got to see more like scenes with like her and the others like in like bonding, and I forgot the other Mandalorian dude. I felt like that was, I don't know, that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one. That's not one that people think of normally, but that's a really good one. I like it. All right. Let's see. I am up to number 4. And so my 4th one is kind of when this podcast, what the podcast is named after.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. I'm mad at myself.
So in the animated series Rebels, when Ahsoka first fights Darth Vader, who, if you don't know, Darth Vader is Anakin, and Ahsoka was Anakin's Padawan, and she realizes that he's Anakin. And, he goes to the little back and forth where, Vader is like, or she's like, Anakin, you or my master could never be this evil or something. And then Vader says, I killed Anakin. And she's like, well, I will avenge him. And he's like, revenge is not the Jedi way. And of course she goes, I know Jedi. That's a pretty awesome scene. That's one of my favorite scenes. So it had to make the list for sure. So Ahsoka,
that's not how you spell it.
Yes, I know. And I can't fit it in the screen here. I gotta stretch it out. There we go.
I'm gonna cry. You spelled my favorite character.
How do I spell it?
A-H-O-S,
right?
Yeah.
K-A?
No, so it's S-O.
S-O.
And then K-A.
K-A. There we go. Verse Vader. Yes, spelling is not my best suit here. Clearly. All right, so we're up to number 3 now, Ava. What do you got?
My number 3 is probably the last battle in the Bad Batch. I just thought it was a good ending to the show. Where Crosshair like loses his hand, and then the one dude says, "Careful with your shooting hand," something like that, and then like they push the guy off the cliff.
Oh yeah.
That was I feel like that was a really good. You could just say TBB. It's the abbreviation.
Look at you being all special.
Yeah, I don't know. I felt like that was a good way to sum up the show because I know a lot of ending scenes to shows are kind of trash. Stranger Things. Anyways, I didn't say anything, but I felt like that was a good ending. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's a good one. I like that one. The Bad Batch, if you haven't watched it, definitely worth watching for sure. All right, so I'm up to number 3, and so my favorite character has been on this list already once. and it's going to be on my list once again. And this one is Darth Maul versus Ahsoka. And I like this one because I like the whole back and forth between him and Ahsoka before they even start fighting, where he's talking about he knows all the plans from the Emperor and how he's going to take over the galaxy, and how his plans have been all along is to turn Anakin to the dark side. And of course, Ahsoka doesn't believe him at that point. And then they battle for a while, and it's really, they're both very athletic sort of fighters that are flipping over each other and doing all kinds of crazy acrobatics. And it's a really, really cool scene. If you haven't watched it, you can go on YouTube. It's one of the first scenes that made me want to go back and watch the Clone Wars because of that battle.
Yeah.
Because it was a really, really cool battle. So that one is mine. My number 3 is Ahsoka versus Maul. All right, Ava, you are up to number 2.
So here's yet another training scene, but this one, if you haven't seen it, you should, because it's really cool. And we've probably mentioned it like 5 times on this show. But the Ahsoka training with Anakin, and she and she ends up using that against the clones in Order 66. I mean, it's like literally so cool. It's foreshadowing at its finest.
Yes.
Like it's awesome.
Yeah, it's very cool. If you haven't seen that, you go on TikTok and just look at like Ahsoka versus clones, and then compared it to the last season of Clone Wars. They essentially surround Ahsoka and they're shooting her with the stun guns, and she finally learns how to read their minds and know where she's going to go with her lightsaber. And then if you cut to the scene where the clones actually do really turn against her in real life, she does the exact same moves that Anakin essentially taught her, and he kind of in a way taught her how to survive Order 66 without actually knowing that he was doing that. Because at the time he was good, and then of course once the clones turn, Anakin is now Vader, and he essentially saved Ahsoka from being killed from the clones. So that's a pretty cool.
You did also write Geonosis, right? You read Genesis.
I think it actually auto-corrected. I think I had Geonosis, but it's fine. It's fine. Genesis is what we're going with tonight. All right, so I am up to my number 2 pick, and my number 2 pick is the one that you had as your honorable mention. This is the first time we've actually had the same.
That was going to be my number 2, but I replaced it.
You replaced it and put it all the way to honorable mention. Yeah, so I really like that battle. That's one of the better live action battles.
Oh no, it's definitely one of the greatest live action.
For sure. I mean, the choreography. I don't know if that's a word or not. I can't spell and I can't talk tonight.
Choreography.
Thank
that's
you.
The word.
Thank you. Choreography for that fight was really good. That's
did you do that on purpose?
What I do. Oh, Obi-Wan. There we go. Obi-Wan. There we go.
You did that on purpose.
I did not. So yeah, that was an awesome fight. That's when Anakin, sort of shows off his behind the back little flip with his lightsaber. And at one point, I think they both force push each other at the exact same time because they've been fighting each other for so long, as friends and sparring. They know each other so well that, it's sort of a back and forth of which move, you can do better.
I like also about that scene in the Obi-Wan show when they fight 1, 2, it kind of parallels. And 2, when we see the flashback of them like training fighting.
Yep.
And every time Obi-Wan wins and he gets mad about it.
Yep.
And then the time that Vader actually kills Obi-Wan let it happen. So in the reality, Vader never beat Obi-Wan.
Vader never beat Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan gave up at the end. He's like, you know what? I beat you so many times. Let me just let you win one for once. But yeah, that's my number 2 is Anakin versus Obi-Wan in the Revenge of the Sith. All right, we are up to number 1, Ava. What is your number 1 Star Wars battle?
You technically have this, but Siege of Mandalore, like that whole, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, segment in Clone Wars where we see like Bo-Katan and Ahsoka being friends, and the 501st Clone Legion like helps Ahsoka and them fight, and Maul gets taken over.
It's a massive battle, and it's a very important battle.
Yes, and it's really cool. We got to see the fight with Ahsoka and Maul gets captured, and all of this. It's just like one of the coolest battles in Star Wars.
Yes, for sure. That is definitely a good one, and Maul's involved in that one too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
that's the whole point of the battle.
I couldn't remember.
To dethrone him.
I know that he was the cause of it, but I couldn't remember if he actually was fighting in it or if he was just.
Remember, he like captured the clones to bring Ahsoka towards him.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we are up to my number one, and I got to kind of set this one up as well. So again, I was old enough to have watched all of the prequel trilogies in the Star Wars in the theaters. So up to this point, up to this scene, Yoda has been this little old, short, decrepit little old man. And even in the scene, he like walks into the scene like limping with his cane, looking completely helpless. And that's when he's fighting Count Dooku. And of course, Count Dooku first tried to beat him with, throwing things at him with the Force. And Yoda just kind of knocks everything away. And then he uses Force lightning on him, and Yoda just absorbs the Force lightning and says, "You have a lot to learn, young Padawan." And then, of course, they pull their lightsabers out, and you're like, "Oh, what's Yoda gonna do with a lightsaber?" And he does his little aura farming where he pulls his thing up and uses the Force to grab his blade to the other hand, and then just starts flipping all around, all going crazy. And you're like, "Oh, Yoda can actually fight with a lightsaber." It was really cool.
I think one of the coolest things about Yoda is he uses the cane and doesn't need it
Doesn't
whatsoever.
need it. Yeah,
he can walk perfectly fine. He can jump like higher than just about any Jedi since he's like the size of my hand. But like he does it just so when he needs it, he can just look cool.
Yeah, and it was really cool because I was in the theater watching this, and when he started doing it, the whole crowd was going crazy, like, "Oh my god!" Like, because no one ever seen Yoda like that before. This was before the animated series. We hadn't seen Yoda do anything with a lightsaber before. He was just this little old green guy that used the Force, and he finally gets to do lightsaber duels, and you're like, "Holy crap, this guy can really do a lot of stuff." So, very, very, very cool.
Yoda's actually been called Green Guy. In Star Wars by the battle droids in like the first episode of Clone Wars, they call him a little green
guy. Yes. Yeah, that was a pretty cool scene too in the first episode when Ventress tries to attack him and he literally just holds her lightsaber, then turns it off.
And also with the clones like using the like all this stuff to like defeat the battle droids, and then the clones are just like, "Oh, yeah, he's really good." Like they're just like, "Oh."
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so let me recap our top 5 Star Wars battles. Ava's list is going from 5 to 1. The Battle of Geonosis, not Genesis. The Battle of Geonosis. Kanan versus Sabine in a training battle. The last battle of the Bad Batch. Ahsoka versus the clones at number 2. And then the Siege of Mandalore at number 1. My list at number 5, I have Maul versus Obi-Wan Kenobi and Qui-Gon Jinn. At number 4, I got Ahsoka versus Vader. Number 3, I have Ahsoka once again versus Maul. And then at number 2, I have Anakin versus Obi-Wan. Of course, the infamous higher ground fight, as they call it. And then my number 1 I just talked about is Yoda versus Count Dooku. So tell us in the chat what your top 5 is, or if you want to give us your top 1. Tell us what you think about our top 5, if you like it, if you don't like it, but give us your opinions on which ones you like. All right, so next we're going to do a trailer react. Let me first get rid of our screen save here, or screen share. Go back to here. All right, so we are going to first watch the trailer. If you haven't seen it yet, you must have been living under a rock because it's been everywhere, but we're going to play it and then we're going to go over some of the reaction that we have to it. So hang tight.
Hey, never touch the buttons. I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Closed for the night. Thank you.
Gangsters. War criminals.
Long live the Empire.
We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Strap in.
You will suffer. And then it will be his turn.
Before going into harm's way, Check your armor. The kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't always be around to protect him.
Are you scared? You should be.
Do we run? Or do we fight?
I like this kid.
What are you waiting for? Let's save the rest for after dinner.
All right. So that is the trailer. Before we get to our reaction, a couple of the people in the chat here mentioned some of their top 5. Jamie, I think he's being funny, but he's talking about Anakin slaughtering the Sand People as counting as a battle. That wasn't much of a battle. That was just really a slaughter.
What's the quote? Not just the men, but the women and the children too.
Yeah,
yeah, that's a pretty iconic quote.
That's Anakin for you.
Very.
And then I don't know who this is. You know who that is?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
So yeah, Fibido. I don't know who this is.
FBI boy.
FBI. Oh, FBI boy. Yeah, there you go. That makes way more sense than FBI boy. He's surprised that we didn't mention the Battle of Coruscant. So a couple of good ones there. But yeah, drop some in there if you want. We'll try to bring them up as we're going through this here. But let's talk about the trailer that we just looked at. So first thing I want to mention, we talk about is the return of the Razor Crest. So if you've watched the Mandalorian show, the Razor Crest gets blown up in season 2, right? Season 2 it gets blown up. Yeah, because season 3 he has the speeder. Naboo.
How many seasons are there?
There's 3 seasons.
Why do I always want to think there's 4? I think it's because Boba Fett.
Oh yeah, Boba Fett feels like a 4th season. You're right.
But yeah, it's season 2.
Yeah, so season 2, his ship gets blown up. So somehow, we don't know yet how it comes back, but he's got the Razor Crest. Seems to be newly fixed because it has the paint job that's been washed out on his other Razor Crest, where you can see a little bit of a yellow on the front.
It was yellow?
Yeah, if you watch in the very beginning, when it flies past, there's a little bit of yellow streaks on the front of the ship.
I don't even know that.
Yeah. So it looks like it's either a rebuilt or he found a new one and bought that one. But so what are your thoughts on the return of the Razor Crest? I know that was a pretty cool ship that everybody seemed to like.
Speaking of that, what happened to the other one?
That's when they were on the planet and Grogu was on the rock that was like reaching out to other Jedi.
No, the other ship that he had before, like not the Razor Crest, the one after that. I
think he still has it.
So he just has 2 ships?
Just has 2 ships.
That sounds like him. But I don't know. I think it was good. I'm very excited. At first, I thought it was gonna be kind of like one of those things where they kind of make it boring. But no, I'm actually excited. I think they're gonna do a really good job. Obviously, I'm excited that Zeb's gonna be in there because we only see one other live action scene in Mandalorian, ironically, but he just says like one line.
Yeah,
that's kind of it. Yeah. And his helmet constantly being off in the trailer. My guess is when he takes it off, he goes back to the water to like redeem himself, and then we see that weird snake thing.
Oh yeah,
the albino basilisk.
Yeah, that's a good call. Maybe that thing is what's in there. But yeah, I think the whole him taking his helmet off, it was kind of a contractual thing where the actual actor wanted to be seen. He didn't want to have a whole movie where they don't actually ever see him because
I can't say I blame him if I was in a movie. I don't think I would want to be.
I think there was one of the seasons where he literally wasn't actually in the movie, the show at all. He was just doing the voice acting, and it was somebody else in the. He never actually acted in there. So I think he wanted to actually be in the movie, so they had to have a few scenes with his helmet off. So that's kind of why they did that. We also see Rada the Hutt, which is the son of Jabba the Hutt. And it looks like they're in some kind of arena, and Mandalorian Din Djarin is fighting him.
The only time we see him, I think, would be in the Clone Wars movie, which we have not seen. We should. But I've seen one of the funny scenes where they like save him or something, and Ahsoka says he might be sick, and then Anakin proceeds to check his fever with a gloved robotic hand.
Yeah.
Like, that's not gonna do anything.
For sure.
He definitely did that on purpose because he did not care whatsoever. So yeah.
Another scene that we saw that kind of reminded some people of something is when we see Grogu sort of meditating on top of a branch, and that planet looks very similar to Dagobah, which is where, of course, Yoda was when you saw him in the original series, and it has people thinking that maybe he is going back to get in touch with his Force, because he is a Mandalorian, but he still has the Force ability, so he's kind of going back and get.
Speaking of that. There is 3 known Mandalorians to be Force wielders. I realized this. So I forgot his first name, but Vizsla, the guy that made House Vizsla, Sabine, and Grogu.
Those are the 3.
That's something.
Yeah. I think he kind of goes on some kind of sabbatical where he's going there to get in touch. Maybe Yoda. Maybe he's trying to get in touch with Yoda. I don't know.
Isn't Yoda dead?
Yoda is dead, yes, but maybe he's trying to.
Ghost.
Because you remember in Clone Wars, Yoda actually goes to Dagobah before he goes into isolation.
Yeah,
because Qui-Gon Jinn's ghost appears.
Oh yeah, the ghost thing. That's how he figured out about Dagobah in the first place.
Yep, exactly. So
I think
something like that could definitely be happening there.
I remember that scene where he figures out how to become a Force ghost. I forgot that he went to Dagobah.
Yep. Let's see what else we have to talk about. Oh, we talk about Grogu's little jetpack stroller carrier thing that you see in there, where he's like, "What are you waiting for?" And he flips in there and then just takes off. That's pretty cool too.
Which is also good because he's the slowest character ever.
Yes,
because he cannot walk normally, and that carrier thing is so slow. It was needed.
Yeah, for sure.
It was needed, and then the droid guy died twice. Yeah.
And there's also I saw somewhere on another podcast. So the scene where they break open the door, I think right before we see the little carrier shoot through. I think it might be Zeb breaking the door down.
Probably.
But there's some writing above there, and it's an ode to Grief Karga. That's the guy from The Mandalorian. Yeah, because he passed away. Carl Weathers is his name, I believe, in real life, the actor.
Oh.
That translates to either his name or it's some kind of form of his name is what it translates to. So it's kind of an ode to the actor.
Is it written in Orabesh?
It's written in some kind of language. I don't know. It's
probably Orabesh. That's the Star Wars writing. So yeah.
Sometimes
Aurebesh or Orabesh?
She knows more than I do sometimes.
It's either it's either Aurebesh or Orabesh. I don't know which one it is. I kind of got myself confused because I pronounced it wrong once, and now I don't know what the correct pronunciation is.
And then last but not least, we got to talk about Zeb being in here. So
yeah,
we saw him in was it Mandalorian or was it Ahsoka?
No,
it was Mandalorian.
We're gonna see him in season 2.
Okay, you're right.
Because Dave Filoni said that he was gonna be season 2.
Yeah. So Zeb is in this one. He's the one that's like, I like this kid.
I like this kid.
If you haven't watched Rebels, you probably don't even know who Zeb is, but he's a very important character in Rebels, and
he's really funny.
I don't know why they didn't have anything to do with him in the Ahsoka series. It was literally all the Rebels.
Because he's at that planet, remember? The end of Rebels, spoilers, he leaves.
And goes to his planet that's
with Callus.
Yep.
So that's probably why, and then he comes back, I think, for that. Because Hera probably calls him or something. Because Ezra comes back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll go ahead and just jump right into our spotlight of the night, talking about Zeb.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's on the Rebels. He's what's his race? Do you remember?
Wait, I know the answer. Lasat.
Lasat, that's right.
So he was born on Lasan, but that planet kind of got kablooied by the Empire, and everyone died. Just about, at least. And then they figure out about the ancient planet Lyrasan, where the Lasat originated from. It was originally a myth, but was proven to be true by some prophet lady of that species and some other warrior dude that knew Zeb. And then they go through this weird nebula cluster thing and find the planet.
I've watched Rebels through just one time.
I've watched it 4 times.
Yeah, so she knows a little bit more about it than I do. I couldn't even remember the name of the planet, so you were way ahead of me on all of that.
I'm never doing that again.
Yeah, so
that was interesting.
yeah, so
sorry, you
Zeb's
had
a
to
very
witness
important
that.
part of Rebels, and you said he'll also appear in Ahsoka season 2. You heard?
Yeah, remember you showed me that video, and it was they
Oh,
only
and
talked
you're
about different
right.
scenes. And we're gonna see more of like Chopper and
Yep,
all that.
you're
Zed's
right.
coming back. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, Dave
you
Filoni.
sent me it.
It was so long ago, I don't remember.
I remember everything.
I sent you a million things. Yeah, so you
Debatable.
have like a young brain, so you can hold more. The more it goes into my brain, the more it gets
I
pushed
forget
out the other
everything
side.
unless it's like fandom related.
Yeah, that's for sure.
So yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up our show for tonight. Once again, thanks everybody for jumping into the chat. I see a bunch of people in the chat. I love seeing the chatter in there. But please, if you haven't already, hit likes, hit subscribe. Send some comments to us on the actual video once it posts, letting us know what your top 5 battles are. Did you know who Zeb was before we talked about him tonight? And
recommendations for the next one, because we always have a mental breakdown trying to figure out who to do. So
absolutely.
Please,
so if you got any characters you want to learn more about, that you want to hear about us talk about them, just let us know, and let us know what you think about the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer too, and are you excited about it? I know I originally wasn't too excited because the first trailer was kind of but this last trailer was like, oh, okay, this is going to be good. I think
we're going to go see it in the movies, because yeah,
absolutely, we're going to go see it on the first day if we can. And Jamie saying you carried the show as usual.
I do. It's my job.
She's definitely better at this than me. She's a natural. All right, everybody.
Wait, you forgot to show the picture of Zeb.
Oh, I did forget to show that. You're right. You're right.
I was like, wait a minute, we're missing something, because you said that like we transitioned and we forgot about it.
Yeah. So let me pull it up here so y'all can see what Zeb looks like.
This is a goofy photo of him.
This is the animated one, obviously, not the live action, but he is in.
He looks better animated.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't know. The live action one just looks way too fake.
Yeah.
Like you can tell it's fake.
Fair. All right. For Ava, I'm Geoff, and we will see y'all next time.